What's up, guys? It's Sam here, and I wanted to talk about 3 reasons why I do not contribute to my 401k, and I give up the free money that I get as a match from my company. But before I do that, make sure you press that subscribe button and that little bell notification so YouTube can notify you every time I post a video. So there's 3 main reasons why I don't contribute to my 401k. The first one is the options available for investments within a 401k are, I believe I can generate, and over the last couple of years, I have been able to generate much higher returns than that, significantly higher returns, because the limited amount of things that you can invest in through your 401k. And say, for example, real estate. Investing in real estate, yes, maybe say you look at the cash flow, right, as a return. And maybe that's, a 12% return. But then you're like, well, you have 12%, you increase your risk, and then maybe you only get 8% in the market. Yes, so it's only 4%. Is it worth it? Because then you also lose out on your match, right? However, my cash-on-cash returns has been much higher than that. Second, there's also the equity paydown of the property. Third, there's other tax benefits associated with this. And then fourth, there's other pieces to real estate where you can garner benefits from it. Like, I'm trying to think of a good example. Say, if I were to purchase a piece of equipment that I was going to write off for tax purposes for a rental property, and then I go through and do the work on the property, right? There is, right, the explicit cost and then the implicit cost of my time, right? But then there is the return, which would be like, I'm not paying somebody to do it, I'm doing it myself. Then there's the other piece of the return is the knowledge and experience that I gain through taking fucking action, right? Like, I went out and did that. And would I do that on every property? No. But the benefit that I get from doing that, from just an experience and just the ROI of being able to make better decisions in the future, those, when you aggregate all those together, and the return I can get when they're all clumped in together, I believe is greater than the tax benefits associated with a 401k. And I'm going to get on to the tax benefits shortly, because that's actually very low weight for me from a tax benefit standpoint. But I'll get into that in point number 3. Because all of those together have a much higher ROI than if I was to invest in the stock market or like equity markets of stocks or bonds, get the tax benefits from shielding my money from taxes today, as well as a company match. I can get a better return, in my opinion, and I feel as though that return is significantly greater than what I would be getting through a company match and the money that I would save in the taxes in the near term. And you may disagree, but when I look at the amount of ROI that I've gotten through the process of doing this, it just seems like a tremendous, it's like a 5 to 1, you know what I mean? How much greater I'm able to get, you know what I mean? But remember, you can't quantify the experience or the experience you gain and the self-confidence to even increase the speed at which you make decisions in the future, which also creates more opportunities. So you can't quantify that. And that's what I'm trying to do through this, because that's also a tremendous weighting on there as well. Because then I can take those same things applied to other properties that I've learned. You know what I mean? So there's a synergistic effect to that where you don't have that effect through investing in a 401k. Number 2, I almost did 1. 2 is flexibility. By not contributing to my 401k, okay, maybe 20 grand per year, right, roughly. The $20,000, I can use, right? So $20,000 per year, whatever, to a 401k just roughly, and then you can put it into an IRA. And so there's different rules on how you can use this money, but the inflexibility associated with a 401k specifically, there's some things you can use it for and whatnot, but the flexibility that I want to be able to move my money around, I don't get with a 401k. So that's a cost to me in terms of the opportunity cost of what other things I could be doing with that money, right? And that factors into my decision, because that's right. So say you do it for 5 years, right? And you put away $100,000, and then, you know, it's growing tax free, right? And you got the match over those 5 years of, like, you know, $5,000 or something like that. And then that's fucking locked up. Like, you can't use that again. Where if I do that in real estate or other investments in businesses, I have access to that capital, and I can reuse it or recycle it in other ways that I see most efficient, or that's going to give me the highest return on my money. Where when I'm in a 401k, I don't have that ability. I can't just go move my money around and transfer wherever I need to, or purchase other businesses or other real estate investments. It's just not, it reduces the amount of flexibility. It allows somebody else to use my money to make money. I want to be able to use my own money to make money. So that's point number 2. Point number 3, plus also, if you have any thoughts on any of these things, let me know down below in the comments. I'm super curious to hear what your thoughts are on these. Number 3, which is probably going to be completely different than anything you would be expecting, but number 3 is that in the next several years, whether that's 3 years or 10 years, I don't necessarily see myself staying in the United States. I grew up here. It's been a great place for me. Like, I don't have anything bad. Like, I'm not leaving because of that. I just see that there's more opportunity for potentially investments, as well as the reduction in taxes, as well as freedom, right? So let's just touch on all 3 of those real quick. Freedom. That doesn't necessarily mean, people like to think that the United States is super free in terms of what you can do, but if you quantify that and you try to understand that having all these reporting requirements for businesses, having all this burdensome taxes and regulations to go through, that's not freedom. That costs money, it costs time. So if I can go somewhere else and I can get that back, to me that's valuable, right? Plus, there's also, if you look at a lot of other countries, the United States can go to, I think, 160 other countries around the world visa-free, meaning you do not have to apply for a visa in order to be able to go to these other countries. There's a lot of other countries that are well over 160 other countries that they can go to. Just say if you were in one of the Caribbean islands, a lot of those countries, I believe, are around 170 or 178 countries you can go to. So from that perspective, because you don't know if your visa is going to get approved or not, you have access to more countries just off the bat to go to. You have less taxes, both on the business front and on the personal front, or you can, depending on how you structure it. So, not staying here in this country, I don't have to deal with all of that shit. And if you are, you know, in that 35, like say 30 to or older, you've probably seen an increase in the amount of regulations and reporting and taxes and oversight that the United States has increased over the last couple decades or longer, if you're older. And why not go somewhere else where you don't have to deal with all that shit, right? Like, I've done a significant amount of traveling, and there's a persona that a lot of other countries are third world countries and not good places to live or spend time. And I think a lot of the pundits or people who say these things or think these things have not traveled outside the country, or if they have, they've been anomaly situations where bad things might have happened to them, or have traveled very limitedly. I've only been to 13 countries so far. By the way, I'm going to a 14th country later this week. But I've never once had any issues or felt unsafe or had any problems of any sort. Not once. And that is why I don't want to contribute to my 401k, because the more ties that I have to the United States, and whether I decide to make that transition in a few years or 10 years or 10 years plus, having more ties to the United States makes it more challenging to move that step away. And if I know that's where I'm going to be going, I can remove some of that friction and hassle down the road by not contributing to the 401k today. The other two things are very similar along those lines, where you have the I completely forgot what they were, and I apologize for that. But basically, if I'm going to be leaving the country, to not have to deal with the taxes, the oppressive nature of where things are going, in my opinion, or I don't use a lot of the social benefits associated with taxation. I don't know. I feel like I can, if I'm paying 35% tax, why not go somewhere else and pay 5%, right? And just do exactly the same thing and get 30% raise, right? 30% more of my money. So, I don't know. There's my main reasons why I don't contribute to my 401k. I'm curious to know what your thoughts are down below. I'm sure there are some people who completely and utterly disagree or think that is a foolish thing to do. And I would love to hear your thoughts down below. Don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you reach out to me on Instagram, I will make sure to get back to you. Link is in the description. Hope you guys create an amazing week, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.